After talking about the economy and the ways they could fix it for a while, I always get the same comment. We need GDKPs back. That's what everybody tells. We need GDKPs back. Now, I understand people want GDKPs back because it is a way that you can get gold from the people that swipe and buy gold into you so you can compete. I understand that. But in my opinion, I don't think that's a valid argument for GDKPs because it is a band-aid fix, really. It doesn't fix the innate problems with the economy. Regardless, I do see some claims, some arguments for GDKP that hold quite a lot of merit. We can go over them and I will give you my input on them. First of all, the main argument that people give is that GDKPs are very efficient. And to that I will say absolutely they are. They give you a clear incentive to organize the raid and they give you a very good incentive to make the raid as smooth as possible. They also incentivize DPSers to pump more because they put like rewards for the top DPSers, they put rewards for the top healers, stuff like that. There is a lot of things you can do. You can heavily customize a GDKP and structure a GDKP in a way that you can incentivize people to do exactly what you need them to do, and it is very easy to recruit people that you need because they get money and everybody wants money. Sometimes people do not want gear, sometimes people want money. Second argument is that why would you raid if you already got all the gear? If you're a full vesting slot warrior, why would you still play? And as a matter of fact, I think that's the reason that GDKPs are so popular in Era, because a lot of people are in full vesting slot status right now, and why would they care to keep raiding at this point? Except they can just be full vesting slot and carry a raid, and because they carry a raid they can claim a bigger cut of the money, and in turn they get an incentive, a monetary incentive to keep playing the game, because they can later use that gold to get up a second character very quickly. GDKPs incentivize you, and this is the main thing about GDKPs. If GDKPs are the norm, are the law of the land, they are what people do, the best way you can gear yourself up is to run like 4 characters and just carry all the gold from all of those characters into your main. And that's the most efficient way to gear up. Just collect, and then you spend it on one character. And then you get full vesting slot and you do it on another character and so on. So GDKPs do incentivize people to play a lot, and it actually inflates player counts because everybody has a very heavy incentive to play more than one character. If you take a look at the population in Cataclysm, which already looks pretty bad, you look at like 117,000, well, it doesn't look that bad if you are being objective. It is the end of the expansion, it is similar to late ICC, something like that, but you need to understand that out of those 117,000 people that you see in those logs, most of them are alts, second characters, even fourth characters, fifth characters, because people wanna spam GDKPs. It is especially prominent in Cataclysm because they have the WoW token, and if you do GDKPs you can pay for your sub, so a lot of people that play Classic and don't really care for Cataclysm, they still do a GDKP every so often just to get the money for a sub. Meanwhile, if you look back in Classic where GDKPs did happen, but they were a lot less common, these 400-500,000 players, they were almost all like mains. They were very little alts raiding in this time. So the real population in Cataclysm, it might look like a lot healthier than it actually is because of GDKPs, but that's the thing, right? It doesn't really matter if you can have 4 times the people raiding, that is still 4 times easier to get a group, so that is a net benefit from the game, I would say. Now there are some counter arguments to GDKPs too, for example, that they incentivize people buying gold, and they absolutely do. If you can spend gold to get gear, the people that buy gold are gonna get the most gear. Now, we have seen no GDKPs for a while, and we will never get the statistics, even though Blizzard is very well aware of how many people buy gold at this point, even if they are not gonna ban them. But I would wager that there is not even that many less people buying gold now without GDKPs than back when they were buying gold. Vanilla is a very particular game. You still need Lionheart helmet, you still need your Edge Masters, you need a quadrillion gold in consumables. So all the people that are willing to buy gold, people that have a lot of money or just are very irresponsible with their money or are hopelessly addicted to the game, whatever case it may be, those people are not gonna stop buying gold just because GDKPs are over. As long as any advantage can be had with gold, and in vanilla there is a lot of ways you can have an advantage with gold. Swiping will exist at almost the same rate. In the case of GDKPs, it actually has a balancing effect where I think the reason that it doesn't increase or decrease swiping significantly is mostly because people that do not swipe can just profit off the swipers in their pots or the GDKPs, so eventually their advantage is slowly diluted, and that makes other people that would have bought gold not to buy gold because they are getting like 4 GDKPs in a row from the swipers. So you could say like the swipers consolidate into like a couple select whales, but the overall swiping is about the same. GDKPs are a very efficient way of laundering money and making it very hard to trace where the bot money comes from. And that's a problem, right? Because if you're Blizzard and you allow GDKPs to happen, and let's assume for a minute they are trying to be actually enforcing the rules, actually banning the gold buyers. What do you do when somebody buys gold, spends it on a GDKP, it gets split among like 40 people, so that money is all diluted into the economy? Are you gonna ban everybody in that GDKP? Are you gonna take that gold away? Are you not gonna take that gold away? Are you gonna ban just the guy that bought the gold and not everybody else? Because the guy that bought the gold is just gonna make a new account and buy again or something? It makes it very messy. And when you allow an economy that relies on swipers to pay for bills, actually people are gonna be upset. Believe it or not, I bet you if they allowed GDKPs but banned all the gold buyers, the GDKPers would be really mad. People, I heard many times before that people say GDKPs are not the problem, gold buying is. I disagree. I think GDKPs are a symptom of gold buying, not a cause of gold buying. And most people that do GDKPs understand that the gold is coming from buyers. I don't think anybody in GDKPs is stupid. They know where their gold comes from and they want that gold. But overall, I do not think GDKPs are causing significant strain on the economy. They might even be helping with equalizing, distributing the wealth amongst the economy. I am not gonna say they don't. I am gonna give you my 2 cents on my opinion on GDKPs because I have been pretty consistent on this topic for a while, even though I changed my mind on the economic effect of GDKPs, on how much they affect the economy. My take on GDKPs is still the same. I do not like GDKPs, not because they are bad, not because I don't want to do them, but because they are too good. If GDKPs were allowed tomorrow, I would only do GDKPs because I can get in a GDKP. I don't know if I should be proud of this, but I am really good at getting people to do what I want. If the game is to do GDKPs, I will gaslight 40 people into working for me. I will do it. I have done it before. I will do it again. There is lots of people like me, and there is lots of people that understands that the way of the game, and that's the way what they gotta do. You don't even need to be an exceptional player to do it. All you need to do is get the right people on board, and then you're set. We are not talking Game of Thrones here, it is not that hard, and I would just get 4 characters and I would just farm GDKPs until the end of days, because if that's the way you achieve something in the game, that's what I'm gonna have to do. Now, just because I would immediately abuse GDKPs doesn't mean I want them. The opposite. If they put a button in the game that said you can get all the best in slot gear for free, I would press it. It doesn't mean it's a good idea. GDKPs are so good, they slowly but surely destroy guilds, because people inside of normal guilds with their friends realize that they are not using their time efficiently. Why would I raid for free and spend money to raid, because consumables are still very expensive? Why would I spend my money on raids when I can just go to a raid and make money? And I think that is a shame, because I think that will eventually erode the social fabric of WoW. Classic is a very social game, and GDKPs allow you to be very antisocial, very selfish, very disconnected from the people you play with. The truth of the matter is that if given the opportunity, a player, especially a WoW player, is gonna optimize the fun out of a game. This game is designed to trick you into thinking that you're succeeding when you're playing and you're not having fun. That's how they get you to grind for stupid stuff like rank 14. And if you allow GDKPs, I am afraid that flawed human nature is gonna make everybody trick themselves into having less fun, making less friends, and playing the game in a way that they don't wanna actually play, but they feel they have to. I often compare GDKPs to steroids. You know, why do they ban steroids in sports. Steroids are not that bad for you overall, okay? I am not a doctor, okay? But you are not gonna get serious health problems if you do some of those medications. The problem is that if one person in that sport is doing steroids, everybody else has to do steroids to compete. So to not force everybody to do steroids, they ban steroids for everyone. That's what they do in these sports, and that's what I think is gonna have to happen for GDKPs. People that do GDKPs are gonna fly ahead of everybody that doesn't, and in turn, everybody's gonna be forced to do GDKPs. People that don't like GDKPs. So no, I do not want GDKPs, but I will give you an olive branch. I will give you a compromise that I think we should push Blizzard to do, because I think this is the compromise that is gonna make literally everybody happy. How about you make a GDKP realm and a realm that doesn't allow GDKPs and do not allow transfers between them? That's it. Like, why are we having this discussion? Why do we have to argue against GDKPs or for GDKPs when the answer, the real solid answer is, let's just make 2 servers and make people choose? I think that's the actual answer that we should be looking for, and that's what we should actually be championing, because I don't see any drawback from this. Like, maybe you got one dead server, that's probably what's gonna happen. I expect the GDKP server to be a lot more popular, but hey, you have a choice and you can go to a normal server and play the normal game if you want, and there will still be plenty of people willing to play that way, because there is, I would say, I don't know, 30% of people do not like GDKPs overall. That's a lot of people you can get in your server. But I don't know, is there a drawback from it? Do you feel there is a drawback from it? I have never heard a good argument against just the making 2 servers thing. Either way, I am sure you're gonna have a nice time making a flame war in the comments. I just ask you not to call me gay on the way out, and subscribe, join the Discord, and thank you for watching.